turn our mics on and rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll begin with roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Here.
Mr. Braun?
Here.
Chair is here. Ms. Borelli?
Here.
Mr. Gorman?
Here.
Mr. Cannon?
Here.
Mr. Swan?
Here.
Mr. Fagioli?
Here.
Next is citizens' participation. If you have comments on agenda items, you may come up and speak. Please give your name and address, and you can address the body for 3 minutes.
Hi, so I'm Joe D. Barberi, 36 Raymond Close. I just got a question about Diamond Street Park. How's that going?
Diamond Street Park, I'm going to record my report. But
Okay.
we're coming along. We're going to be having a resident meeting the first week of March. JP will have a little bit more of the design, and the playground equipment provider will be here to meet with the residents, speak with the residents on that area. They need to determine what type of equipment they want from 1-year-old to, I think it was 7, is it? And then 7 to 12. So that letter will be probably going to happen next week.
Okay.
You should be, we talked yesterday. I think you should be
Correct.
Up to
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah, we'll be up to speed by the first week of March.
All right, great.
Thank you. Equipment's available, it's just a matter of finalizing the elevations and things.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Christine Burns. I'm just curious with this permit parking. I live on Walnut Street. I've been there since 1986. I understand, I talked to Tom McCosey. He explained to me that businesses don't want to open. It's generating money. They don't want to open because there's no place for them to park. I get that. I'm all for making money, keeping taxes down. My question is, we have nowhere to park. I have 5 cars in my family. I get 1 permit. I know you guys, whoever anticipated 40 permits from what I understand or what I was told. Last I checked, there were like 9 that were sold. Now, maybe there's more and that's fine. But is there any way or any working around getting more than just 1 permit? I mean, can anybody help me on that? We have nowhere to park. I mean, I pull up to empty groceries and I'm getting a ticket. Not that I did, but I mean, I know the cops, I've talked to them, they're around the clock, in the middle of the night, everything. Even if we can't get something, I'm willing to pay. I'll pay to get a permit. That's not the issue. But it's like, we're being screwed. I mean, we really are. There's people parking on the street that have permits that want to park in front of their house. Therefore, we have nowhere to park. And I know it's not your fault. I know you're trying to make things easier, but it isn't for the residents, especially me who's been there over 30 years. I mean, I got to go park in front of your house, Bruce, if I want to get a spot, because there's no spots on our street. I mean, we have one side parking, and we literally have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14, not even 14, I don't think. Is there any budging at all, or?
Well, I know that after they gave it time for everything to roll out and settle, they were going to look at possibly increasing to a second permit for households, but they are waiting to see how all of this settles.
Do you know how many permits were sold as of date? We're 2 months in now.
As of this date,
11 permits. I believe.
11?
I don't know where the 40 came from for permits. I thought we were at like 10.
Well, somebody in the borough had said. Somebody thought they were
But
anticipating.
they were incorrect. There was 10.
What's that?
There was 10.
They only
Originally,
thought
there
10 were gonna be sold?
was 10 to 11, I think we had. And let me give some quick stats here, all right?
Yeah.
In the explanation, we said, obviously, it's for the business. We did speak about that. But it's the only street in the entire borough that has a ability to buy permanent parking in a parking lot. 99.9% of the streets in Clifton Heights have no side, only one side of parking, exactly like you have. We don't have two-sided parking that I'm aware of. And then from there, they have nowhere else to park. But I will monitor it, the chief can monitor it, Bruce has a calculation. So on your street, for example, there's 18 houses with driveways that have a
And
driveway.
a lot of those people don't park in the
Okay,
driveways.
all right, so we're trying to explain the problem.
Go ahead.
There is a thing, there's a, sometimes there's a problem with that solution, okay? There is 18 driveways, because they don't park there, that's nothing we can't force them. to
I
do.
understand that.
Then there's 14 without driveways, but there's 32 houses on your street. So if you add that number, there's more parking than there is not. But in addition to that, we've been monitoring. Harrison Avenue has parking. There's other parking, and, you may have to walk, but, I walk, where I live in Western Park, you can't park in front of my house. So sometimes you gotta walk, I get it. But even if we did solve it, now you have a parking lot strictly for residents of Walnut Street. Is that fair to the other, 4,000 residents in Clifton Heights? I mean, you have to look at it both sides to be fair.
I got it.
Should we give permits to Harrison? Should we give permits to Diamond? Where do you stop it? So we gave it to, originally, all we did with this parking is take the ordinances that were occurring on the books, okay? And we adopted it. We didn't change fees. We didn't add permit parking. It was a single line around the fence. How it got out of control, Tom wasn't here. It was pre-Tom. I'm telling you, it can go by what the ordinance says. And we did one for Springfield Road because he has no parking on Springfield Road. And I understand he had one, and it was another older woman that wanted one who had a driveway they ended up with. So, I mean, other than that, that's why we went to 11, because she was out of town, said we weren't prepared, we did not have the permits in stock. She was going to Italy, and when she came back, her son didn't pick it up. And I'm Italian, she's an older woman, and I wasn't going to say no, but that was it. So from that point, there's really nothing we can do. Council discussed this at length 2 meetings ago, or the committee, I guess it was, whatever it was.
I'm just hoping maybe in the future we can just get more than one. Not everybody's gonna do it, but the people, there's people that have driveways that aren't parking in the driveways.
So if I go to 20 and then the person comes in and says, well, how come I can have 20? Well, it has to stop somewhere. I guess that's what the issue is. It's trying to work out everything we possibly work out. But at some point, it just becomes,
And if it was even if you could do something, if it was okay, because of businesses, generating for them to park. What about any kind of special permit that we could get just to park at night and not during the day when businesses aren't even open? Is there anything that maybe something like maybe a special thing? Because when we got that pamphlet, it said, I misunderstood it, pay period from 8 to 9 or whatever that was. And I was under the impression, oh, okay, we can at least park there from 8 to 9 in the middle of the night when nobody's, no businesses are open. Nobody's in there. I live right next to the park and I can see the cars that are in there. There's, throughout the night, there's maybe 6 cars in there. So maybe if, some reconsidering of maybe just an overnight and not during business hours. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw some things out there.
the only thing that came up there when we had the discussion is you do have 2 businesses that require parking under the zoning off-street for those multiple events they have on the corner.
And the restaurant,
No, let me help me out.
The old Republican Club,
Republic Club.
okay, wait, where? The
right on the corner. The Republican Club, right, the old Shea Building, the second floor is a rental hall. They
Okay,
use that lot behind them and the lot on Walnut Street on the weekends.
Okay.
And they have to pay. But they might have an event that runs till 1 a.m.
okay,
So that's what Tom's pointing out, is that there is no overnight parking that way because they got to be off the lot at 10. So they all get tickets.
okay. Well, it is what it is. It just kind of stinks for residents.
Anyone else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the January 21st council meeting.
Make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Now we have the reports of the borough officers. First is the financial advisor.
Thank you, Madam President. You all received your packets today, and I apologize for the delay with the holiday yesterday, but if anyone has any questions, I can answer them.
Any questions of the financial advisor? All right. I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial advisor's report and pay the bills.
I will so move.
All right, Mr. Resnick made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cannon seconded it. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Next is the police chief's report.
Madam President, in addition to my written report, the council has just an update on Sunday night's weather. I kept most of council, if not all council, in the loop via text messages with the multiple power outages we had. We were fortunate enough not to have any major trees come down or anything like that that would have caused some other issues come Monday morning and further down the road. We had the highway department come in for some temporary stop signs that we had to place on Baltimore Pike for the power outage that occurred. But for the most part, I'd say half of the town stayed up while probably about half the town went down. And thank God, I don't think the town was down for more than a few hours. We didn't have any major wires down, some cable lines, some phone lines, stuff like that. The fire company was running pretty fast all night also. We were able to bring in a couple extra officers when the storm hit, in case anything did occur, that we had the backup officers and cars on the street to take care of it. And thank God we didn't have to worry about any of that. The other thing I have is, I don't know if many of you know the owner of Herbie's Collision, Glenn Trainer. He is he was very generous to the borough, to the police department. He routinely bought police officers equipment that they neither could afford or maybe it was outside our budget over the years. He sponsored a lot of our teams and things like that. He owns Herbie's Collision or Herbie's Towing over in Drexel Hill. He passed away after a long battle with cancer, and his services are Saturday morning at Williams Lombardo. For those of you who know him, I want to stop and say condolences. Other than that, that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the chief?
Tim, I have one question.
Yes.
How are they doing with the bus stop signs?
Bus stops.
The cameras?
Oh, I don't have a number on me, but the violations just grow. Last that I actually looked at the numbers was probably last council meeting, and we were over $8,000 in fines. The officer that I have assigned to that, I asked him, has he seen, a decrease in violations? And he said actually he has seen an increase in violations.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the police chief's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the fire chief's report.
Nothing more than the report that was submitted, and to just comment on the sheet that the fire company responded to 11 emergencies.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have one. For the council members that don't know Larry, Larry was appointed deputy chief in January, so Larry Mellon.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Okay. Any other questions regarding the fire chief's report? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the fire chief's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Swan seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Engineers report.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam President. The passive park improvements continue. We expect a brick for the hero wall to be installed or delivered on Monday and installed thereafter. We also expect the pavilion contractor to start the pavilion installation next week. The CDBG application, as reported last month, was submitted on time. We'll keep the borough manager informed when county council awards funding. The sanitary sewer cleaning contract, the bid opening for a 4-year contract was held today. Each year, 25% of the sewer mains are cleaned and televised. Attached, you will find a spreadsheet of the bid tabulation. The recommended contract is awarded to ADU Services for a 4-year base bid of $133,245.65. Excuse me. And finally, PennDOT requires that the borough execute a TSMA, which is a traffic signal maintenance agreement in order to install necessary signals for the Upper Darby school improvements. As such, I have forwarded the resolution and sample agreements to Mr. McBlain for his comments. The resolution allows the manager to sign TE 160 forms without additional council action. And on your agenda underneath my report, there are 3 actions for council. And the third one is the authorizing a resolution to apply for the county aid liquid fuels allocation.
Okay. All right, so we can start off with, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Springfield Road Traffic Signal Maintenance Agreement with PennDOT.
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Gorman made the motion and Mr. Resnick seconded. Do we need a roll call for this? Okay, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next,
JP, that's for Springfield and Austin, Springfield and Oak, and Springfield and Sycamore?
Technically, it's for the entire borough. However, PennDOT will not move forward with issuing the HOP until this is executed.
Good. Wanted to make sure Austin was in there,
Yes, it's for the entire, right.
Madam President.
okay, all right, next we have a resolution authorizing an application to the Delaware County Council for an allocation of the Delaware County liquid fuel tax funds for 2025 for the municipal road improvement program for 2025.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Braun seconded. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. And then finally, we have a motion to approve the 2025 to 2028 sewer cleaning and televising program bid to ADU Services in the amount of $133,245.65.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
JP, I'm looking at, there were 6 bidders on that job. And if, the low bid, of course, is dictated, low responsible bid is dictated by statute. But I'm looking at the other bids and some of them are double and triple.
Yeah. That's the magic of Penn bid.
Pardon me?
That's the magic of Penn bid. I'm sure they're not familiar with the borough.
Okay,
Some of these guys are, I know that. Like, for instance, Moore Construction, I know they're familiar with the borough. But some of these other folks that I'm not familiar with, like Raybold Construction Technology out of Bear, Delaware,
Yeah.
I'm sure they are not familiar with the borough.
I know they do refinery work and chemical plant work, so.
Yeah. So ADU, I'm sure you're familiar with them. They had the last 4 years of the contract, and they're very familiar with Delaware County.
It just caught my eye, the discrepancy, so.
Yeah, it is
I thought
vast. Correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? So entertain a motion to approve the sewer cleaning.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Fagioli made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cannon seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Braun?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Any other questions for Mr. Kelly? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the engineer's report.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Cannon made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gorman seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we have the solicitor's report.
I have nothing to add to Mr. McLean's report.
Okay. Any questions regarding the solicitor's report? I'll entertain a motion to accept the solicitor's report.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Community development and code enforcement.
Thank you, Madam President. After our windstorm, we've had two residential properties that were minimally impacted by tree branches that fell. I'm working with those owners to get the tree debris removed and also the houses repaired. I'm also happy to report that the former Big Lot store will be a Burlington Coat Factory. The permits have been approved, and we should look for an opening hopefully before the summer for that store.
Okay. All right, wonderful. Any questions for Mr. Gould? I'll entertain a motion to accept the community development and code enforcement report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Resnick seconded. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Now we have the manager's report.
There, in your packets, there's a copy of a Xerox copy machine proposal. Our current copy for Centric is due for renewal for 5 years. We met with Centric. We looked at the data. Chris and Peggy really did a good job on this, and we basically were able to get the contract with Xerox for monthly $445. Black and white copies with 1,500 color copies for free per month. And we're adding a police department will now have also color in it. And we're savings is that we're currently paying $737 a month. We're going down to $445 a month for a savings of about $3,500 a year. And over the 5 years, we'll save about $17,000. So we're looking to do this. They're offering a special now. We were able to find out that they will not charge us till June 1st, June 15th, June 1st. So we'll still pay for our current one because we can't break the lease without paying for it, but they'll switch it out. And what part of our package is they have to clear all the data out of it, all the phone numbers and any confidential information on there. It's all part of that. So during that time period over 90 days, we'll be switching it out. And it also comes with the free staples. It has a stapler in it, the maintenance for that, and keeping the staple. That was one of our problems with the current one. You have a stapler, it doesn't staple. So we think it's a good recommendation of the office staff. I mean, Timmy looked at it as well, so we'd like to get that approved tonight to enter into that agreement.
Any questions? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the Centric and Day Lodge Financial for the lease agreement for 60 months starting June 2025 with Xerox for a monthly fee of $445 per month.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Cannon made the motion.
Second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. We'll do a roll call. Mr. Resnick?
Yes.
Mr. Vaughn?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Cannon?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Fagioli?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
And secondly, we are applying for a stormwater management grant for Madison Avenue to add to the already existing funding we have to get that project up and running. That came from Senator Carney's office from DEP. We're working on an application for that. Should be finalized. I think it's April 15th. We have to have it ready. Also, on the parking, just so we listen to council, we received a $35,000 grant from Senator Carney's LSA that will have a total borough-wide parking survey and business district survey to see what coordinated with the ordinances that we currently have on the books for parking. Some of the streets can't park in their corner, some of the streets have no parking 2 hours. That whole process and the whole borough code based on the ordinances we use for the PayPal will be reviewed by JP and John McClain. We have that grant in hand, we can start spending the money. JP, I don't know if you did it preliminary yet or not.
We started to put together the overall borough mapping for all the parking, all the existing, so we can start looking at different scenarios.
That'll all be GIS as well.
Yeah,
right?
correct. It's a GIS map, right?
That's all I have.
Any questions for Mr. Marcosi? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the manager's report.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fagioli seconded. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have council reports now. Mr. Swan?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Mr. Resnick?
Looking for the first award, but our local scouts are doing a pancake breakfast Saturday morning, March 1st, St. Stephen's Church, 9 to noon, $10 for all you can eat. Let's get the word out.
Mr. Fagioli? Mr. Cannon? Okay. Mr. Braun?
I have nothing.
Okay. Ms. Borelli?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay, all right. I just want to let everybody know Clifton Pal and Boys Club has tickets for their annual bingo on sale. It's going to be March 22nd from 7 to 11 at Today's Child on East Berkeley Avenue in Clifton Heights. So it's a good time. So think about coming out and supporting our local youth organizations. I also have Mayor Campbell's not here, and he has a proclamation for celebrating Black History Month that he's asked me to share. So the Borough of Clifton Heights, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, proclamation celebrating Black History Month. Whereas the month of February is officially celebrated in the United States of America as Black History Month, which dates back to 1926 when Dr. Carter G. Woodson set aside a special period of time in February to recognize the heritage and achievement of Black Americans. And whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Clifton Heights also wish to observe Black History Month and note the contributions of African Americans to the continuing development and rich history of the Borough of Clifton Heights. And whereas the Borough of Clifton Heights prides itself as a community where residents can live quietly on clean, safe streets, raise their families, and enjoy a community with friendly neighbors and become involved with active civic associations. And whereas Clifton Heights African American neighbors greatly contribute to neighborly community beloved by our residents and have and will add rich traditions and culture to our community, all for the betterment of the borough. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed this 18th day of February, 2025, the mayor of the Borough of Clifton Heights and on behalf of the Borough of Council, that all residents are encouraged to observe February as Black History Month, recognizing the great contributions of African Americans to the culture, neighborhood, and community of the Borough of Clifton Heights. So. And that's all I have to share this evening. Mr. Berman, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mayor is not here this evening. Do we have any old business? Any new business? All right. We have our ending public participation. Anyone who would like to address the body may come up. We have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address.
I'm Rich, 82 Chester Avenue. I have a question about the school. Has the PennDOT issued an updated traffic permit as yet?
No. You mean an HOP, highway occupancy permit?
Whatever, a traffic permit, so that traffic will be allowed to get to the school.
Not yet, but I expect that to happen very soon, within days.
Okay, so in other words, you're still going by the traffic impact study, 2019, April 24, 2019. You're still going by this? That's 5 years old?
It's PennDOT's permit. PennDOT issues it. PennDOT
This
issues
is
the
what you're
permit.
still going by?
PennDOT issues the permit.
Okay, whatever. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, I'll call for an adjournment.